Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. Every time I get together with her, I learn more and more. But more importantly, I learn how deep she runs in terms of her knowledge. And she is somebody who practices Chinese medicine. And by that, I mean herbals, acupuncture, cupping, and so much more. Today, we're going to look at your nutrition, among other things, and what you can eat to better support yourself. But if you're going through some challenges, and we'll address some of those challenges, and most of us are going through at least one of these, I guarantee it. What we can do to improve that situation just by nutrition and making some lifestyle changes. She's from New York, and she's back with us. Dr. Kelly joins us on the program. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you?
Very well, very well. Interested to hear what you've got to share with us. So let's start with hair. So I'm hearing more and more, especially as you get older, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Even younger people talking about maybe some hair loss, gray hair sooner than they think they should be going gray, thinning of the hair. Does that come back to a lot of it surrounding diet?
Yes. So actually, I have some patients. They're not old at all. Some is in their early 20s, some in the early 30s, some 40s. So it's not really old age at all, but they started to see the hair loss and some gray hair coming up. So they kind of like worry a lot, like, oh, Dr. Kelly, what's going on? Why my hair getting gray? My hair getting thinning? So in Chinese medicine, hair related with kidney and also related with the liver. So a lot of young people these days, they don't sleep at night. They stay up until like 3 a.m., which they damage their kidney, damage their liver. That's one of the reasons their hair getting gray. I have a friend, his hair getting losing when he is only 20 in his college because he doesn't sleep at night. So, which is evidence to telling us if you don't want to lose your hair, if you don't want to have gray hair, please go to sleep. Go to sleep at night. It's
Wow.
different. You go to sleep in the daytime.
I got to tell you, I know that sleep is important, many different reasons, even especially dealing with stress. If you don't have enough sleep, you get more stress out. You just can't focus. You can't make decisions. You get all foggy in your brain. I never considered lack of sleep as something that would challenge your hair. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's crazy. Now you add all the other stuff to it, improper diet and stress, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now it's like the perfect storm for hair challenges. Wow.
Yes. So because so many people are seeing the hair loss, the green hair. So people ask me, hey, Dr. Kelly, what can I do to make my hair, more thicker again, to make the hair not gray, but instead of, beautiful and rich. So I tell them the most important thing, go to sleep at night. Okay. I told them go to sleep at latest at 11 p.m. So no passing 11 p.m. You're still playing video game or playing your phone or you're still active. Because in Chinese medicine we talk about the yin and yang. Yang time is the daytime, right? When the sun is up, you should get up, you should be active. But when the sun set, it's getting darker, we should
Mm.
relax, we should go to sleep. So if you do not go to sleep at yin time, which is at night, you will damage your yin, damage your kidney. Then you will have the hair problem, you will have other problem. For example, there are a lot of young people, they have lower back pain. You would think, oh, maybe they went to gym, they like do the heavy lifting, then they pull the muscle, they got lower back pain. Actually, a lot of young patients, it's not because they going to gym and have lower back pain. It's because they don't go to sleep at night. A lot of my young patients, they have lower back pain. When I ask them, what time do you go to sleep? 3 a.m. Most of them telling me they go to sleep at 3 a.m. Then they have lower back pain. So I telling them, please go to sleep early. Like don't pass 11 p.m. If you have some work to do, if you really catch some deadline, yes, I understand. But don't pass 11. They say, oh, Dr. Kelly, I cannot even fall in sleep if I go to sleep at 11. I said, even you cannot fall in sleep, just lying down on bed is better than you sit up and being active, especially with the screen. That will make it worse. So in
Mm.
Chinese medicine, we have one thing called 人卧则血归于肝 means if you're lying down, your blood will go back to the liver. Liver will rejuvenate the blood. We all know, right? The liver had detoxify our body, get rid of toxin. But if you don't lying down at night, your liver cannot do it.
Wow. I had no idea that this conversation would be heading toward focusing for the moment on sleep. My gosh. And I'm just going to say this, and it's kind of broad, and everybody is different. But for somebody who says, I can't fall asleep early, my answer is yes, you can. It's called habit. You get in the habit of going to bed at 3 o'clock at 3 a.m. That's when you're going to sleep. You have to reset your body clock. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is just my my infinite experience in life. The same thing with most of us eating. We have relationships with food. I know personally, once I start eating badly, I just keep eating bad more. Just it just keeps going there. If I intentionally cut back and am more careful about what I eat, when I eat, the portions, I'm thinking about it before I grab something. I'll get in the habit. I even feel that my stomach starts shrinking a little bit and I don't want it anymore. Same thing, sodium. I have not touched a salt shaker since I was a kid because my father used to say, why do you got to put salt on it? It's loaded with salt. And yeah, he used to be a little pushy there about it, but with good reason. I have not put salt on anything since I was probably, I don't know, 11 years old. I don't need it. I don't want it anymore. So is what I'm saying even a little bit true in terms of creating the right habits for yourself?
Yes, I agree with you. It's like the habit you're creating, right? If you go to sleep like me, I go to sleep before 10 p.m.
What time?
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So actually the best is 9, but 9 is a little bit too early because you got stuff to do.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I go to sleep by 10. So I get up at 6. So I had enough sleep. I have enough energy. Every day I get up like naturally. I don't need a alarm to wake me up. And I have energy. I don't need a coffee. So like every day I'm busy until like night, but I have energy. I don't need a coffee to wake me up. I don't need like any energy drink.
Sure.
So if you go to sleep at the proper time, you will have enough energy. And also like Steve, you said, it's a good habit. So then you every day you will feel sleepy. Actually, if you are healthy, usually by 9 or 10, you will feel sleepy naturally. But a lot of people they don't feel sleepy because they drink coffee, they smoking, they drink like tons of unhealthy stuff,
Yeah.
make their body have the false signal like, oh, I'm not sleepy, I still have energy. No, actually, if you don't have that kind of
Right.
like stuff,
Yep.
your body will feel sleepy naturally.
And maybe even not even have caffeine for hours before you go to bed. And that's one thing I learned to myself. I can have a little bit of caffeine. Sometimes I get a big cup of coffee, and I'll do half and half, decaf and caffeine. But that lasts me for hours. I mean, I'm talking super extra large. Short of that, I don't do caffeine. I get jittery. Forget about it late in the afternoon. There's no way I'd be going to sleep. And I'm going to think, and I want your opinion on this. If somebody wants to reset their clock, is it reasonable maybe to take something to help you fall asleep be it CBD, melatonin, maybe a prescription if you need that, just to reset you. So you start going to bed at a more reasonable time, call it, 10 or 11 p.m., whatever it might be.
I don't really suggest people to take any pills, any Western pill to help them go to sleep. If you really want to take a pill, actually in Chinese medicine, we have a herbal formula called the 酸枣仁汤. So
Sure.
the herbal formula to help you go to sleep, it's not like melatonin. So the 酸枣仁汤, the function is basically clear some heat, so you can like calm down, then go to sleep. It's not the same function as the Western pill because the Western pill, although you feel like you're going to sleep, actually your mind didn't really get rested. That's why I don't really suggest people to take melatonin to help them to go to sleep. Especially if you take them, you may, depending on them, you cannot fall asleep without taking a
Hmm.
pill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Along those lines, what about diet? Now, I guess we're centering on hair, and some of the other challenges. Our sleep, we got it. Like you've reinforced that in a big way in my mind, and I'm grateful that I go to bed at a fairly decent time. I'm like probably 11 p.m. I'm intentional about that because I spent decades going to sleep, getting a minimal sleep. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning doing radio in the morning, decades, and then would take a little nap in the afternoon. But I would never felt like I was me because I didn't have a full night of sleep. What about diet? What should we, let's focus on hair because it seems to be a big challenge for a lot of people. What should we be eating or not eating along with getting good sleep that would support better hair growth, better hair condition?
So hair, I just talk about the hair related with the kidney, right? So kidney in Chinese medicine, in the five elements is water, and the color is black. So anything like black color is good to tonify the kidney, like black bean, like a sesame seed. So black color is good for kidney, so good for the hair also.
Wow.
Yeah, and also actually the hair color, the hair also related with liver blood. So you can eat something to tonify your blood, like red stuff, like dates. Yeah, that can tonify your blood. About the liver is the color is green. You can eat some green leaf, some vegetables. So in general, Chinese medicine, basically we talk about everything is about balance. You should have a balanced diet. You should have a like lifestyle is balanced. It's not too extreme, like too much sleep. Also bad, right? If you sleep whole day, you're gonna like have a headache. I have a lot of people they come in, they said, "Oh, I slept the whole day, I got a headache." So you should have a healthy and a balanced lifestyle, like that, like even exercise. Right? There is actually very very simple exercise that can tonify the kidney. You just tiptoe, lift up your heels, then you drop your heels. Very
Wow.
simple.
Hmm.
Yeah, that can tonify your kidney also. You can do it everywhere. Do it in your office, do at home. Actually, I just did some exercise this morning after I got up because it's so cold, right? You need to warm up, do some simple exercise. Just at home, you don't really have to go to gym, right? You can just lift up your heel, then drop down, do 100 times. In that way, you can active your kidney channel because the kidney channel go down to the heels.
Wow. Even I have to imagine, even a little bit of exercise, let's say you're even working from home. A lot of us are. You're at your desk. Even doing leg raises, nobody knows even if you're on a Zoom or you're on a phone call, whatever it might be, nobody knows what you're doing, but you're getting some movement. So many of us aren't even moving. We're sitting in a chair. And I truly believe that sitting is the new smoking. We're doing harm to our bodies by not moving, just like like when you smoke.
Yeah, so that's why I try to telling my patients have a little bit moving. Even you have to like sitting in front of a computer for a long time, just move your neck, turn left and right, up and down. So in that way, your body is not like in a long position, for too long time. Then your muscle get tight, get sore and pain. So a little bit of movement, like it's helping you to move the qi and move the blood. Like a young patient came to me yesterday, said, "Oh, why I have the neck pain? What's the reason?" I said, "Yeah, you're already young, right? That's very good. Young people, you in general, they have like a kind of like a little bit healthier body than the people who are older, but not necessarily. Because if young people sitting in front of computer for a long time don't move, which is bad. Older people they can go to park, walk around for a whole day, but young people can sit in front of computer for a whole day. In that
Hmm.
way, young people doesn't mean that you are healthy.
I never thought of it that way. And yes, you see a lot of older folks, you either walking around a mall or walking around some kind of area, or now even when it's warmer out, walking outside more often. Interesting. Um, what are your thoughts on disease? So, do you feel that the majority of the disease that many of us are dealing with is not just genetics, it's lifestyle?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's running in my family, or my
Right.
mom got it, my sister got it." So actually, if you study biology, it's called there is another reason for people who got sick or not. It's called epic. It's the environment. Basically means it not only decided by the gene. Oh, I have this gene, then I have to get this disease. No, not necessary. So if your lifestyle, if your mom have that kind of lifestyle and you got exactly the same one, for example, eat a lot of sugar, drink a lot of alcohol, yeah, you may get that disease also. But if your lifestyle is healthier, you don't drink alcohol, you don't, eat a lot of sugar, you exercise, you don't have stress, you may totally healthy. You don't have anything from the family. So that's
Mm.
why I, like agree with you. It's not just running in the family. You can control it actually. You can change it. Don't say, oh, because my mom have it, so then I will have it. No,
Right.
not necessary.
You mentioned alcohol, and just a few days ago, I believe it was the Surgeon General said that uh, they're suggesting warnings on bottles of alcohol that it can cause cancer, and that's based on research, studies, etc. What's reasonable? Let's say somebody wants to have some alcohol, whether it's some wine with a meal, etc. What's a acceptable per week amount? What's your feeling?
Well, a long time ago, actually, alcohol is a herb. I mean, it's a in Chinese medicine, it can help you to move the blood. So in that way, if it's medicine, you shouldn't take it too much. So,
Oh,
but you said, what if just like once a week? I think once a week in general is fine, especially in the winter. It's so cold. If you drink a little bit alcohol, can help move the blood, especially for patients who have like qi stagnation, blood stasis. Alcohol can move the blood. So in that way, it's good for you. But of course, if you drink too much alcohol, then, it's bad, totally bad.
where have we crossed the bridge to too much? Let's say, somebody has, I'm just throwing anything out here, 4 drinks a week. Maybe over the week, maybe on the weekend you had two, and during the week you made dinner, wanted to have one glass of wine, whatever it might be. What do you think is reasonable, uh, short of too much?
So actually in Chinese medicine, everybody different, right?
Sure.
So one glass per week maybe is okay. Like to me, one glass per week is totally okay. But if a person who doesn't have like qi stagnation, doesn't have liver blood state, doesn't have blood stasis, but instead they have internal heat in their body, then even one glass may be too much because they already have the heat in their body, the alcohol gonna even add even more heat in their body, which if they already have problem falling asleep, if they already have like skin itching, that alcohol can make it worse. So it
So,
really depends.
okay. Heat in the body. I talked to somebody a year or so ago, and he mentioned that a lot in terms of heat. Um, how do you know? How do you know if you have and we're not talking about, oh, I'm hot. Oh gosh, as I'm sweating. No, that's not what we're really referring to here. Um, can you explain when you say heat, what that means internally, and how do you know if you have too much?
Okay, so example is if you look at your tongue in the mirror, if your tongue is really red, like the wine color, that is too much, which usually means heat in your body because the tongue can tell our organ how healthy it is. So that is the
Wow.
one, yeah, that's the one method. You look at your tongue, the color, if too red, usually means some internal heat. Two, like for example, if a person drink alcohol a lot, usually they may have the rosacea. They have the redness on their nose.
Sure.
So that's another indication. Third is they may have trouble to fall asleep. When you have internal heat, you may have trouble to fall asleep at night because the heat just rising up. You cannot calm down. So that's
Mm,
yeah. And another indication you may have constipation because the heat, just burn off all the fluid. So it's dried up. So you have a hard time to get it
wow.
up. Yeah. So and some people may have like itching, the itching redness in their eye, their ear also have problem. Yeah, that can be another sign.
My gosh. Learning so much today. I really am. What about if somebody has a tongue and it's got, coated kind of white?
So in general, if the tongue coating is white, if it's a like thick white coating, usually we tell, especially the tongue color is kind of like pale, that can be a sign of internal cold or spleen deficiency. Because especially if you look at your tongue on the side, the edge has the teeth mark.
Yes.
That means the spleen deficiency. So if you have a spleen deficiency, then your tongue will be like red coating, pale color, teeth mark, and people may have like uh fatigue. They don't have energy to go every day, and their appetite is not so good. They don't want to eat,
Wow.
and yeah, and they have bloating, gassing after eat. And then their muscle maybe feel like fatigue, feel weak. So
Amazing. This is just now, now I understand why some doctors, not all, look at your tongue. Is they're looking at it from a different perspective in terms of diagnosing. Uh, Dr. Kelly, phenomenal, fascinating, fascinating. I had no idea where we were going with this today, especially when it came to even hair loss. So many things, that can cause that, and we don't even realize it. And we're just, we know sleep's important, never realized it was that important. So, which would you rather do? Stay up until 3 o'clock watching TV or playing, looking at reels on your phone and have no hair, or just get a good night's sleep? My gosh. You're located in New York, specifically where?
121 East 60th Street, 2A, New York, New York. It's on Lexington Avenue, between Lexington and Park Avenue.
Yep. And if you're in the New York area, certainly very accessible, a lot of subways in that area. Know it well. If somebody wants to reach out to you, whether they're in the New York area or even on a consultation basis, let's say they're in Texas, whatever it might be, what's the best way to find you?
They can call me at 347-885-1865, or they can send me email info@kelly121acupuncture.com, or go to my website, kelly121acupuncture.com.
Thank you so much for today. What a great way to start a new year with this kind of insight. And newsflash, everybody, everything that Dr. Kelly said people have been practicing it for hundreds, if not thousands of years. We just don't listen. We gravitate toward, like you said, taking pills, and, nothing wrong with traditional doctors, but there's more going on here when it comes to herbal medicine and a more holistic approach. Appreciate you being here, and we'll catch up again soon. Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.